Okay, so I guess this is the beginning of this video. I made myself a little makeshift shelf.
That is really cool.
It is kind of cool, isn't it? Although I need more wire because I need to wire these up.
I do not know where the wire is.
I know, but we'll find it. This will be fine for now, as long as don't move it around too much. But eventually, I'm gonna maybe have to reinforce it.
Is that the wire?
Yeah, that's the wire.
My king has that.
Oh, I have in that shed somewhere a whole bloody big peanut butter. Well, we should get it anyway because we're going to be doing yard work. And wire's good. I need wire. Anyway, you can see what I did here. I wired these up and I managed to get 3 in, so that's cool. Now I do have more of these kicking around in my yard, but I planted those potatoes in the cardboard box. I don't know. I'm going to look and see if I can find at least another one, right? And make another, because where I'm going to put it in my room, oh God, I hope it's not going to be too long. I won't know until I get it in there, so hold on a minute. Perfect. I think God's working with me on this, people. It's exactly what, it fit perfect. Now, because I could, if I can find another one like this, I can stack it here, right? I can do the same kind of idea, right? I'll look for my wire, because I've got other salmon-sized jars. Like, my room is full of fucking food here. Like, seriously. Can you see? Everything that's covered is food. When I move, I got food. It goes all the way around. It's on the table. Goes all underneath in there, right? But when I move, what's going to happen, because I'm not going to need clothes. Like, this room is full of clothes. I got clothes hanging there. I got beautiful long to the ground jackets, a leather one. Oh, it's a beautiful jacket. Over there hanging up. Obviously, I have a closet you can see behind me full of clothes that I never ever get to, because my room has basically always been a storage room, really. I've got clothes hanging on the door. I've got clothes hanging here. And then on this bunk bed, 3/4 of it on the bottom is fabric, with a bunch of fabric over there, which more than likely will sell some of it at some point. But I want to measure it out and stuff, right? And you know, I want to log it, and, you know, depending on what it is, right? And then on the top part of the bunk is more fabric. I got a big bin of boas. I've got trims, light bulbs up there, batting, stuffing, like, you know, pillow stuffing, just more kind of lighter stuff. And then over there, you know, more, I've got some records. I did clear off one shelf, and I still got 2 shelves full of records, and I had to move out the records, put them someplace else. You see, that's the thing that my son doesn't understand, that with, you know, building in, well, he'd say, well, this is kind of extreme, Mom. And I'd be like, well, yeah, but, you know, you kind of locked me out of the basement there for a year and a half. And, you know, I wasn't beginning with the food prep. I wasn't in the middle of the food prep. I was past the halfway mark with it. And I wasn't feeling quite satisfied. So, of course, I kept doing it, right? Even though I couldn't get into the basement very much. And so, you know, I was putting it in here in terms of canning goods, mostly canning. And then, of course, I did the metal cans, right? So I've got, like, over here, I don't know, I don't want to start pulling, but, you know, I've got, like, cans of coconut milk and stuff, because you can make coconut ice cream. Because I was thinking of Kyrie, right? And he's, you know, he can't have milk products of any kind. And, like, you know, I want to get into making ice cream at some point after everything's all said and done and I got more time. right? And I've got like a couple of different types of ice cream makers, not to mention the old, that kind, and even an old school from the farms kind downstairs, and another old school with a motorized, right, that you just put ice around it and you, I mean, it would make for great videos, people, if anything, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, I can't make ice cream if I can't give Kyrie ice cream, because that's not fair. So, you know, I went off and I bought tons of coconut milk in a can. Now, the thing about that, though, is it will last for a long, 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 long time. But now I'm not talking to Tisha. So, you know. So I've got, like, coconut milk over there underneath the table. I've got, you know, cans of salmon. And underneath my bed, I've got cans of, corned beef and more salmon. And, you know, and because I couldn't go downstairs, right? You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't like I was getting any love. And then, of course, canning here, and then, you know, I'd pick up like, you know, I did stuff like this. Well, not this one. I didn't do that. That's just a solo. I didn't stock up on that, but I did stock up on these kind of things, which are all, like, you know, I got, like, the plum sauce, you know, I've got the teriyaki sauce, I've got whatever, okay, I'm like, you know, and just whatever, and it's, again, it's not like I could go downstairs and fuck around, right, you know, I was locked out of that food. I'm not feeling sorry for myself, I'm just saying. So, if my son can't say shit to me, because I'm at the point right now, really, people, like I went online today, for example, to, you know, get my, that cortisol going in my brain. I'm gonna, like, go buy something. Come on, you can do it. You got money. Just fucking buy something. It doesn't have to be a lot. And whatever I've seen, just don't need it. Don't need it. Don't want it. What for? Right? I'm gonna go out with Andre, because I have to deal with CIBC Bank with that little trust account that requires John's signature and my signature, because they're trying to close it, right? And unless I go to the bank personally and deposit money into it, because they won't let me do it through my card, because initially it was John who opened it, but it was joint with me, right? I can deposit money into it at the teller. I can get printouts on it. There's only like $96 or something dumb in it, right? But I can't take out the $96 unless John signs it. But the only thing is, John's been dead since 2018, and, you know, between Fraser Health Authority and the bank, they medically kidnapped Uncle John, and that thing's just been sitting fucking dormant, because it requires him to sign to do anything with it. So they're trying to sneak it in now where, you know, because I don't get out of the house, people. It's hard for me to get out, right? And when I do go, it's just to, like, doctor's appointments with Amari, or basically that's about it, okay? So, you know, I'm gonna go with Andre, and hopefully I'll be able to deposit the $5 into the account just to keep it active until such time I can, once this is all, you know, like with the basement, I'm okay with this. I haven't slept in this room for years, like long before this shit started. I used to work on the nonprofit in here. This was more like a business room for me, because I have a computer over there in another wall unit, and that's where I used to do a lot of my nonprofit books, right? And when I was fighting for Andre, and you know, I moved in, and then, you know, by the time they took Andre, I was sitting at that desk, you know, typing. And when I used to do the nonprofit books in terms of the actual ledgers and, you know, and posting, I'd write in the ledger, and then I'd come in here and I'd put it into an income statement that I had created for the multiple trust accounts that I'd spend hours and hours and hours and hours. And Uncle John and Auntie Joan used to sleep below me, right? Like below this room. But I never slept in this room. It's always had fabric on that bed. I did for maybe a year, but this room gets really cold in the winter, so, you know, right. Anyway, so now, because I'm going blind, when I start taking things out, it will be beautiful clothes. It will be beautiful clothes for whatever reason. I mean, that's beautiful. You can just see that. You can only imagine what that's going to look like, right? You know, and probably try and sell them. There are some little outfits that I do want to make. This trunk over here that I can't get into because there's stuff on top of it, is huge, and it's nothing but sequins and sequins trims. Seriously. That trunk over there, which is fairly large, is nothing but velour. Now, I've taken out a lot of fabric, because this ended up being my holding bay for fabric, right? And like, it's spilled out in the hall over here. It's spilled out, there's some in the bedroom over there. And of course, it's spilled out downstairs into Tisha's room. And this, what's up here in the hall and in there, has to still go downstairs. But honestly, I'm kind of nervous. I have to admit it. I'm kind of nervous because my stuff has been messed with. So, I'm not moving anything like that right now, right? But, like, when it comes time to move, if I haven't done anything yet in terms of trying to sell this kind of shit, right, well, that's when I'll deal with it, and I won't be taking it with me wherever I go. So technically my bedroom, I am entitled to a bedroom, would basically become a food storage room, in combination with probably fabric, the fabrics that I want to keep, and that kind of thing. Because as I'm bringing in the food, I'm taking out books, I'm taking out all my paperwork, I'm taking out my records. I have a bin down there full of records. I have another bin over there full of records. So that's a lot of fucking records, but I can't put them anywhere else right now, so they have to stay there, right? I got my DJ equipment underneath my bed, way tucked off into the corner. But if we manage to do a park event, I don't have to worry about that because I have an extra mic in my sewing room. Don't ask me where the flags are. They might be kicking around over there because right now, as it is, it would be too hard to dig everything out and try and get underneath my bed looking for flags. But there should be some, a few, in a bag close by. Good luck finding it, though. Right? It all starts to look the same to me, right? Because I don't see color very much anymore. Right? And it all blends and blurs together. So, I don't know how much of what's in my room can go downstairs after I'm done doing what I'm doing down there, which I'll get down there next week. Andre and I are going to start in underneath the stairs because they went behind my back, took out everything from that little cubby that had been there for years, took out whatever they wanted from underneath the stairs, which was mainly, as far as I know, a few craft items and the videos. And we're going to see if those videos with the cardboard covers are in there. Because if they're not in there, then they disappeared all at one time. And we're talking hundreds of them. Okay? Which makes me think they're selling them. Because they never did put them in the garage. So I said, well, maybe Andre, maybe they left them in the cubby. Maybe they did. So before we say that they got rid of them, we need to go and figure it out and see for ourselves whether they're there or not. And then with that, however they packed it, I'll repack it. I'll see if my beautiful construction, like art paper, different colors, is down there. I'll see if that wax is down there. I mean, obviously, my son said he wanted the canopies, so the canopies will be in there. I'm assuming that he didn't throw out my stand for my gong. Right? And if there's anything in there that I don't want, I'll take it out to see if I can put something else in there, because there's other bins in that food storage area with children's books in them and crafts and whatever. But I don't know, people. I don't know. I don't know. So when I leave, we know I'm not going to be taking much of my clothes. No. As much as I love them and they're beautiful, and I got some beautiful stuff, I have no need for them. I just don't have no need. I got like shoes, some shoes. I got fuck me boots in there, but I can't get two kinds. I've got black pair, goes all the way up past the knees with the pointed toe and the spike heel. Ooh, nice boots. And I got white ones. They're called fuck me boots, right? When I was young, you know, I was sexy. And other shoes in there that I never wear. Practically brand new, right? And then, of course, I've got shoes hanging up in that. Oh, where's my finger? Yeah, different shoes that I never wear. Some of them are brand new, I've never worn, I've never had a chance. Got too busy working around the yard trying to hold down the fort for the kids. And then behind that, you can see how I hung it up, right? I run a hook to a hook, and then I run a chain, and then from there, just like here, do you see? A hook, I run a chain. That's all beautiful clothes in there. And behind that is like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful jackets. Full length down to the ground jackets. Yeah. Where am I gonna go with that? Oh. And then in my closet up high is all rhinestone jewelry. Necklaces, earrings, a lot of rhinestones, glitter, shiny. This, right? And of course, I've got miscellaneous books. I've got some homeschool stuff, which we'll probably sell depending on what it is, or maybe we'll keep it for Andre, right? And then, yeah, it's my life. So anyway, I'm really happy this shelf works here, so I don't have to try and move anything else, because I'm not doing it. And now I know that this works. I'm on the hunt for another carton to make another shelf, so that I can scoop up on some of these other salmon things that I've got kicking around, scattered throughout my room. I got jars everywhere in here, people. Now you can see better than me. For me, it's dark. Right? When I say I don't need to buy food, I'm not kidding. And like, I have no regrets. I don't. I could go a whole year and probably spend, if I really just was frugal about it, $500. Can you feed yourself for $500 for a year? I can. I can. So you see they're covered up, right? Anything that's covered up has got jars on them. Right? And then of course it goes all the way around. And then of course I've got my 1-size gallon jars in here, scattered around. Did I have a nervous breakdown? I probably did, people. You know, and there's a moth in here. I can see it flying. But everything's in pretty much containers, right? So Sorry about that. They come in with groceries. Right? With the rice and shit. That's why if you're buying that kind of stuff and you're going to store it for any length of time, like we're talking years and years and years, it's best to rebag it up, preferably with an oxygen absorber in a nice tight sealed container to, yeah. Look at this. It's all for sushi. So, I don't know. I got the microgreens crap, so, you know, at some point I'd like to try and do microgreens after I get everything put away. But it just takes so long, right? Because I'm tired, you know, and there's so much to do. But eventually, I would think that I'm going to be doing microgreens, to, you know, because I have it, right? Because I just have it now. I bought it, but I never had time to actually do it. But eventually I'm thinking I will get time. And then, of course, we've got my little grow room. I'm debating about whether I should take it down, and because I got another computer in there that I could maybe work on. I like that computer. I like that little cubby. It's War Room 1, right? That's, well, no. Really, this is War Room 1 right in there, because that's when I started fighting for Andre and Sierra, right there. That's where it all started in this house, is right in that corner, right over there. And then War Room 2, technically, was the sewing room, because then I took everything went onto the sewing table when I went and started fighting for Uncle John. Holy shit, right? Right. And then War Room 3, in that little cubby where I have that grow room now. When I was fighting for Uncle John, and then along I'm fighting for Shimei, and oh my God. So anyway, I'm going to probably keep it as a little grow room, because it's kind of nice. And I'm going to attempt to try and grow lettuce and just keep it simple, right? Maybe bring in 1 or 2 tomato plants from the greenhouse when the weather changes, and just have a couple in there, right? I have another light, so I can hang another light on the other side so that I can push the tomato plants right up against the back with another light hanging over it, so that you know, I can have other little things in there as well, with the lights being at different distances, right? So that, because, you know, plants require different light spectrums, as if I can see it, right? Anyway, and then if I can manage to do that, maybe it will cut back on my quote unquote grocery bill. If I can grow lettuce and microgreens and little things like a few herbs or something, I don't know, a couple tomato plants, we'll see. Then, you know, I don't need to buy it, people. Oh. It's a weird feeling when you get to that point, right? But my son doesn't understand that, you know, in order to build in quote unquote food security, you do have to go that extra mile with those 6-gallon buckets, 5-gallon buckets, 50 pounds of this, 100 pounds of that, not once, not twice, but 3 times, maybe 4 times, you know, and stack and pack, preserve it properly, so that, you know, if shit was to get funky, you could feed your family for a fairly long time. Do you know this thing has been in this room? This thing has been in this room for like months. Oh, there's another one in here too. Where is it? Yeah. Because my room is cooler, right? Like, these are cool. I run a little fan that kind of pushes out cold air. I don't keep too much of this. I used to keep potatoes in here, but I don't like it. Right? Because I get busy and I forget about it. This thing has been in here for like, oh, I don't know. Oh my God, probably 7 months. Right? just those two. That's it. And I don't put potatoes in here no more. I do keep onions in here though, and the onions, they really nice. They don't spoil. They really don't. They'll sit in here forever. They like it. So anyway, so now I'm going to go get my jars. I'm going to put them in here. Yeah, this is nice. I'm so happy. Look at that. That's so cool. Hold on a minute. Okay, so where the sad part of this is, and I'll probably keep this video short too, because, you know, I get into those long-ass videos. The sad part of it is, you know, for anyone that's been watching my videos, you know I've been working hard all these years, okay? Some of it, I would say it helped to keep me sane and grounded in terms of the trauma that I went through with losing family members, and in the manner that I lost them, and then to discover that whatever we think we have in terms of a justice system is a farce, and that we're actually dealing with a criminal organization which is called a government when it comes to organized crime that exploit the most vulnerable in society for profit, wherever that profit may come from. You know, that's pretty discouraging, people, because I put a lot of hours in fighting the good fight, right? And it didn't get me anywhere. So anyway, I got those other jars that aren't labeled. So I'm just going to take a box that's already done. I'm just going to switch it over for now. Right? So when I say, you know, it's sad, right? Like, it's sad. Here, I think I can put it there. You know, I worked so hard to get to this point. I'm not that old yet. I'm really not. But my life is being, really, it's being taken away from me in more than one way. Right? But definitely with the eyesight, right? Because who knows what's going to happen with that when that's completely gone. And, you know, like, before people would come in here and say, holy shit, it's payday, right? You know, I won the lottery. They'll be like, oh, what the fuck was Mom thinking? Like, clearly she had a nervous breakdown and went cuckoo, and, you know, and what are we going to do with this? Oh, let's just chuck it. Like, and I won't be able to defend myself, people. I won't be able to defend my food because, you know, unless I hire somebody to come in and, like I said, liquidate and help me move to a different location and take what I want. And I will definitely take my bedroom and I will turn it into a fucking food storage pantry with a lot of this food. And depending on the size of the place that I move into, I might have 2 pantries. I'm looking for a larger case of jars that are heavy. Like these. Oh man, but these are nice. These are nice and cool. You can see because of the grease, right? So I don't, and they're happy there. So we're just gonna leave them there. We're not gonna disrupt them. So maybe what I'll do, just to keep it simple on myself, because everything's already kind of where it is. So when I say I don't want to can no more meat, nah. I'd have to eat up a third before I think I'd have a desire to even try to do that again. But I'm at the point where, like I said, I don't really see, so I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not that I don't believe in it. I just don't like it. See, Andre comes in here and moves things around looking for his favorite food. And then he kind of does the wrong thing. I know how this moth got in here. I know exactly how this moth got in here. I bought rice from Canadian Superstore, and I just brought the bags in as is, just to get them out of the haul. Like I got a big bag of, you can hear it, brown rice there, and I just brought the bag in, and I didn't do anything with it. So I need to rebag it up with an oxygen absorber. Yeah. Something like that. And that was the last time I bought rice. Because that's usually when I get moths, is when I buy rice. That's what I've discovered. Not the wheats, not the beans. It's the rice that comes in from the grocery store. I even got canned goods on my bed here on top of fabric. So when I say all I need to do is spend $500 in a whole year on groceries, I'm not kidding. Especially if I start growing some of my own greens with the microgreens and the lettuce and, you know, right? Some tomatoes. I mean, what more do you need, right? I've got dehydrated potatoes over there. Got all kinds of stuff going on in here. Now, because we do have a moth in here, and when you have one, you might have more than one. Alright. So maybe, just maybe, I might have to do something, because I didn't jar up these potatoes. I left them in plastic bags, Ziploc bags. I don't think moths would want to get into that. Oh, I don't think so. They come in with the rice. They like rice. Right? Most of everything in here is jars. Mostly jars. And I've got rice in containers, so that when Andre and I get to really start cooking, right, they're right here. Different kinds. Because I want to teach them about different kinds, right? These are different kinds, you can see. Well, not that, but these ones here. And I think they go down there. There's a few, right? Anyway. See, jars even in there. But Andre comes in here and moves things around. These are all jars, right? That would be something else with my jars on top. And then of course I come in and I check them, but because they're quite cool, they hold up pretty good, really. Yeah. Okay, so those beef and that pork and everything, I have to put label on them, right? I have to write what's on them. And I'm just going to put them right here for now, after I've done that. And then, you know, as I'm working around doing whatever, God forbid, if all I can find is something that's had potatoes growing in it, because you know how hard that would be to clean. But maybe I'll get lucky and find another one kicking around where I can just put it right on top of that and at least get, you know, 1 or 2 shelves. I could do 1 shelf like that and leave this like that for bigger jars on the bottom, right? It's hard to say. Either or, I'm going to do this again as soon as I find another one of these, because I like that idea. That worked out really quite nice, actually. But then, what happens is, what was on that thing, remember when I said I have candle wicks and that kind of stuff? Well, that's what was up there. And now it's not here. See, candle and lantern making material. So you can make lanterns, make candles, So if that wax downstairs is gone, I'll be choked. Right here's for, I have lanterns, I've got the kerosene oil, and I bought the extra wicks for the lanterns that I have in the house. See now, stuff like this technically should go downstairs, but I can't put it down there because, you know, it's kind of hard, right? So for now, I just took everything that was there out, and I have beeswax. For some strange reason, though, I lost some. I don't know. I'm missing some beeswax. I should have more beeswax than what I see there, unless I moved it already into the playroom, which I could have done. But I bought beeswax to make salve with comfrey and lavender and all that. I've got comfrey in oil been sitting, right? And I think oregano with the flowers to make, you know, right? Especially with the comfrey, because it's like a, you know, it helps to heal wounds, right? Especially injuries to the bone and stuff, right? Like Andre injured his knee because he fell off his bike. He asking me for it, and I'm like, oh my God, Andre. As a matter of fact, I should grab some comfrey and start fresh with some oil and make another batch. And then after it sits for a few months, then I'm gonna make. And I got the jars and everything, right, to make it. And that's fun time, right? But I just haven't had no time. So when you do food prep, it takes up space, right? But it's pretty nice to know that I could go a year, basically, if I wanted to, without going to the grocery store. No. And I'll be eating good. And if I do go to the grocery store, it would be just to buy like a head of lettuce. No, not even lettuce, because I'm going to try and grow my own. A head of cabbage. And even then I've got dehydrated cabbage in there that I can cook up with onions, dehydrated at that, and mix them in after they've been hydrated with my corned beef. And it would still be good. Oh yeah. See, Andre loves my room. He went in and got some crackers. Okay, so now what I need to do, because I did cook up those plums, I gave some to my landlady, and boy, oh boy, she loved them. She called me back up and asked me if, you know, Rhea had any more, right? And I said, no, that was the last of it, right? And she really loved those plums. But I cooked it up now. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to clear out this so I can can these plums. I'm going to be babysitting for her tonight. But other than that, can you see me? Not really, eh? Here. Here. Go away, Mickey. So these ones here are done. So we're going to write on them what they are, and then we're going to just put them on top of that shelf for now. And then I'm going to find something to cover it up, the whole thing, right? And like I said, in my travels, I'll look for another container. I still have some of those little white trays, which I found on the road, by the way, a couple of years back, and I've just been hanging on to them. And they're coming in handy now, right? So this was done in, we just went into August, right? So this was done in July 24. And I won't be canning meat. for a long time, if ever again. See, this is where I can't see now. This one looks like it has meat inside of it because some of them I did with just plain old broth. Yeah, you see, that's basically the broth. And then what happens is when you heat it up with the meat, it some of the meat particles come off. Do you see that? That's not meat. That's not meat down there. Where's my finger? Yeah. That's not meat. That's like, when you cook meat, you get that overflow or whatever. This one looks like there's more meat in there because I made one with a little bit of extra, like chunks. Yeah, there's chunks of meat in that. I put chunks. Depending on what you're doing. Alright. They're so tasty when you do it this way. Like, they're so rich. Look how nice and clear that is. And then you get that little extra tidbit stuff. But when you're doing it like that, you have to do it for 75 minutes. Alright? Because that would constitute a meat byproduct. If it was just straight up broth with nothing in it, been strained, then it's less time. 25 minutes for a pint. Alright. And we know I don't need fish. Not for a long time. But I'm going to be mixing that stuff into bean burgers and potato burgers and stuff. That's what's going to happen with that. Yeah. With my little microgreen salad on the side. I set up a little system over there already with the grow lights and everything. But, I got food there that's got to go downstairs. In terms of, like, wheat and shit, right? My son, oh yeah, buy more, I'll take anything I can get. I said, oh yeah, you sure about that? Yeah. The world is going to, to pots. And I said, okay. So I went off and spent $750 on stupid shit. And it's been sitting there ever since. I feel so betrayed. Right. Because I want it downstairs. And he won't let me bring it down until I do what he wants me to do, which I don't even know if I could do it to his liking. Well, he wouldn't care. It's her that doesn't like it. Because she doesn't think about disaster, hard times. She hasn't come into hard times yet. Never mind come into hard times with children and a whole bunch of them. Okay, so that's pork too, right? We only had the one beef broth. Yeah. And what I'd be using these for is either when I'm making rice in a rice cooker or in a pot or something. Right? Probably in a pot. Right? Bring it to a boil. Put my rice in and then cook it, or in a crock pot. Now, I need to be careful what I say because honestly, I'm looking forward to trying these short ribs, these beef short ribs, even barbecuing them. After the fact of heating them up for that 10 minutes, right? So beef short ribs, right? That's what they're called, short ribs, right? And if it works out good, then yeah, I might go out of my way to can this again. Because I like the way it went into the jar, right? It was easy to degrease. I showed you how to do that. Because beef is the one with the most nutrients, and salmon. Beef and salmon are the ones that have the most nutrients. But I just like the idea that I could probably take them out of the jar, lay them flat in a frying pan, little bit of water extra if I need it, but I might not. Heat it up with a lid, do the 10-minute, and then let it cool, and then just grill them on something with some barbecue sauce. Oh my God, I bet you that'd be so good. Yeah. And if you want them to hold their shape after you cook them, beef short ribs, after you cook them for that 10 minutes, cool them. You could do the same thing like I showed you with the salmon. Just take that, put it in another container, juice and all, and put it in the fridge and let it get nice and cold, and then they'll come out hard again because, you know, it contracts. It doesn't extract, it contracts, right? It'll tighten up, and then that's when you'd want to put them on a grill with some barbecue sauce, because as soon as they come into heat, they're going to soften up. Oh yeah, that'd be so good. Oh my God, I can hardly wait. Moving like a snail though. That's the problem with getting old. When you're overworked. And the eyesight plays a big role in it too. Yeah, it kind of really plays a big role. Because your brain is always working on overtime. That's why. Right? You got lots of things going on in it. It struggles to see. It struggles to make sense of why you're struggling to see in terms of that cortisol with the emotions, right? You know, because you have to remind yourself not to get frustrated, right? Not to get angry, to accept it and see it as one door closes, another door opens. I just don't know what the next door that will be opening is for me, or if it will be good for me. Right? Yeah. Handwriting has definitely got, like, in terms of whatever, has definitely gotten worse. Printing, whatever. It doesn't line up as nice as it used to, but I pushed past that. That's the OCD. OCD, you know? Sometimes you have to ignore the OCD. Right? And not let it bother you that it's not right in the middle with perfect printing. Right. Christ, I hear things and my heart goes like this. Yeah. I don't like it, people. So not fair. So not fair. But I have a plan. I don't mind giving up my clothes for food security when the time comes. I choose food security when I move than fashion any day. Yeah. So no regrets. And you know, Andre and I are going to be eating real good as soon as I'm done with the basement and a little bit more in the yard and get this crap whatever I got kicking around up here put away. Right? Because it's good. But I'm going to have to get that rice out of my room and deal with that like ASAP. I know where it came from. Canadian Superstore when I bought the last batch of rice. Because that's the only time I ever got moss was when I was buying rice. Whether from Walmart, it would come in with Walmart, or it would come in rices, I don't know. It just seems to be a magnet for moths. Yeah. Because I got a couple bags in there that I basically bought them. They sat for a minute and then they went into my room because my room is cooler, right? And I thought, I'll just put them in there, and they've been sitting there for a little while. So, but they're easy enough to get rid of. So I'm on it. Okay, so now I take the box. This box. When you're putting your jars away, this box needs to be taped up. Put some white paper inside. Just, right? So that if a jar should pop, I wish I had a stapler on me. If a jar should pop and leach out, you'd be able to see it. It would just help you to see it. Right? Because sometimes these things are deceiving. You know? But normally you can hear it. Sounds kind of tinny. When it starts to sound hollow, even though it looks like it's sealed, that's where you got to be careful. All right. Depends, I think, too, also, how much you lost on your headspace. What happened to all my tape? All my tape is missing. I don't see it here.
I don't know, I never touched it.
Well, something happened to it. This is no good. Like the clear tape is missing. And I just screwed this up. Oh, joy. What little tape I did have, not working. If I can find a different box. I'll try and find a different box. I see a box up there. I'll use that box for now. I think that would be big enough. Alright, people.